Today we are going to explore one of the highest moments in the history of Western art, the Greek Classical Age, focusing in particular on the Acropolis of Athens and the Parthenon. Before analyzing the monuments, it is essential to understand the historical context. We are in the 5th century BC, right after the Persian Wars. Athens has emerged victorious from a conflict that involved the entire Greek world against the Persian Empire. This victory is not only military, but also cultural and ideological. The Greeks see themselves as defenders of freedom against a despotic power. Athens, in particular, becomes the dominant polis, both politically and culturally. Under the leadership of Pericles, the city begins an ambitious building program with a clear goal: to celebrate the greatness of Athens and to affirm its central role in the Greek world. In this context, the project of the Acropolis is born. Before analyzing the buildings in detail, it is important to understand the objectives of Greek artists. Greek artists did not work randomly, but followed precise principles. These can be summarized in 4 key points. Harmony: every part of the work must be balanced with the others. Proportion: measurements follow precise mathematical relationships. Ideal beauty: they do not represent reality as it is, but as it should be. Centrality of man is the measure of all things, even when representing the gods. These principles reflect a rational vision of the world, in which everything can be understood and organized according to rules. It is also important to remember that between the Archaic and the Classical period there was a transitional phase known as the Severe style. This style marks the passage from the rigid and stylized forms of archaic art to the balance and naturalism of the Classical Age. Figures become more realistic, expressions more serious and controlled, anticipating the full development of classical harmony. Now let's observe the model. The Acropolis is not simply a group of buildings. It is a carefully designed space meant to be seen, experienced, and understood in a visual and symbolic way. Each building is positioned to create a meaningful spatial and visual path. The entrance is through the propylaea, a monumental gateway that marks the transition from a profane space to a sacred one. This passage is important. Whoever enters the Acropolis enters a different dimension, governed by order and harmony. Moving forward, we encounter buildings such as the Erechtheion, famous for its caryatids, and finally the Parthenon, which dominates the entire complex. Now let's focus on the Parthenon. The Parthenon is a temple dedicated to Athena Parthenos, meaning Athena the Virgin. It was built between 447 and 432 BC under the direction of the architects Ictinus and Callicrates, while the artistic supervision was entrusted to Phidias. From an architectural point of view, the Parthenon is a Doric temple, but it also includes Ionic elements, such as the continuous frieze. This combination reflects a desire to go beyond tradition in order to achieve a more perfect and complete form. Let's analyze its structure. The temple is peripteral, surrounded by columns. The relationships between its parts are based on precise mathematical proportions. Some scholars have suggested connections with the so-called golden ratio, although this is still debated. However, the true masterpiece of the Parthenon lies in its optical refinements. No line is perfectly straight. The stylobate, the base platform, is slightly curved. The columns are inclined inward. The corner columns are thicker. These adjustments correct visual distortions. This means that the Greeks were not aiming for absolute mathematical perfection, but for perceived perfection. Art is not only construction, but also knowledge of how human perception works. Now let's move to the sculptural decoration. The metopes depict scenes of struggle between order and chaos, Greeks versus Amazons, Lapiths versus centaurs. These scenes symbolize the victory of civilization over barbarism. The frieze represents the Panathenaic procession, a religious festival in honor of Athena. Here something extraordinary happens. For the first time in a temple, the people themselves are represented. This highlights a strong connection between religion and civic identity. The pediments depict episodes related to Athena, such as her birth and her contest with Poseidon. Now let's turn to sculpture. Let's observe Athena Lemnia. This statue, attributed to Phidias, represents a crucial moment in the development of Greek art. We are no longer in the rigid archaic style, but in a natural, balanced and harmonious representation. The posture is stable but not stiff. The weight of the body is distributed realistically. The face is calm, without tension. This is the so-called classical calm, an ideal of inner balance reflected in the body. Phidias does not represent a real individual, but an ideal model of beauty. Now we come to the most important statue, Athena Parthenos. This statue stood inside the Parthenon and was about 12 meters tall. It was made using a complex technique, a wooden core covered with gold and ivory. Gold was used for the garments and armor, while ivory was used for the skin. This choice was not accidental. Gold reflects light, creating a powerful visual effect inside the temple. Athena is represented standing, armed but not aggressive. In one hand she holds Nike, the symbol of victory, and in the other a shield. On the shield are mythological scenes, again related to the theme of order versus chaos. This statue is not only a religious object, it is also a political and economic symbol. The gold used had enormous value and represented the wealth of the city. In case of necessity, it could be removed and used to finance wars. Moreover, the Parthenon itself can be interpreted as a symbol of the imperial ambitions of Athens. Through its size, richness, and artistic perfection, it communicates not only devotion to Athena, but also the power, control, and dominance of Athens over the Greek world. This helps us understand how complex the meaning of Greek art was. Let us conclude with a reflection. Greek classical art is not simply beautiful. It is the result of a worldview based on order, rationality, and measure. This vision will influence the entire history of Western art, from the Roman world to the Renaissance and beyond. Even today, when we talk about beauty, we are often using criteria that originate from this period. The Acropolis and the Parthenon are not just ancient monuments, they are cultural models that continue to shape the way we think.